Look at that. Wow. Neat. I'm the slowpoke. I forgot to hit this button. I had to hit this button right there. Come on. Let's go. There it goes. Yay! All right, it's working. Sheesh. Ever said how much I hate computers? No, seriously. I hate computers. 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 And I'm beginning to hate cats, too. Ain't that right, Demon? Anyways, so, you know, we're supposed to be talking tonight about how your impact is bigger than your city. While I clear off the space, I've been working all day long. I've got so much gotten done today. And it's just, oh, man. It's been one of those days, people. It's been one of those days where you just can't quite get everything done right. And so I've got to work around this cat. Hey, Alicia. Hi, Beth. Hi, Mike. Hi, Country Lady. Hi, Carrie. Oh, man. I gotta love magazines, right? Shocking that people actually send magazines still. Look at this. I mean, it's like, wow. Actual print. There's one tree that was killed today just for this. Business-friendly climate. Shame it killed the climate in order to try and print this, right? Ooh. Send to your bank. Uh-huh. All right. We're going to file that in the important file. And, you know what? I might actually take that in the bathroom and read it. Or at least I'll save myself some toilet paper. One or the other. Hey, Alice. Hello, hello, hello. So, tonight we're supposed to be talking about it's Motivational Monday. I mean, come on. I mean, we're supposed to be talking about your impact is bigger than your city. And I don't know about you, but I come from Chicago. That's a pretty big city, you know. Don't mind the mess. I've been working on computers all day long, and I hate computers. That's why I've only been working on them since 1986. Yeah, my mother got me a Commodore 64 because she didn't want me getting involved in gangs. It was too late already, right? But, long story short, after getting my Commodore 64, it wasn't long before I took it apart to see how it works. You know, inquiring minds want to know. And while being, 8 years old, I really didn't know much other than, hey, look, a screwdriver. I didn't even know what this type of screwdriver was called. And I couldn't put it back together again. Oopsie. So, my mom took it to the repair shop. Back then, it was like $200 to get a computer fixed. Back then, $200 is a lot of money. I mean, 1980s? Yeah! So, got it home and I wanted to see what they did to fix it. What I did wrong. So, what did the aspiring 8-year-old do? Give you a guess. Yeah. Hey, welcome back. I grabbed the screwdriver and I looked in that bad boy and I looked to see what they did. What they fixed, what I broke. And you know what happened? I broke it again. Yep. I broke it again. Well, Mom took it back to the repair shop. And she brought me with, and I had to stand there and tell them what I did. And in the process, the guys there were like, you want to learn how to fix computers, huh? No, I just want to know how they work. Well, you know what? In order to learn how they work, you got to learn how to fix them. Valid point. $200 out the door again from my mom, and I get a computer home, and this time it took about a month before I took it apart. And this time when I couldn't put it back together again, guess what my mom bought me? An electronic repair book. Yep. So that's when I started learning how to fix computers. So, a little history there. And that's how that happened. So I self-taught myself how to fix computers since 1986. Cool, huh? Neat. Probably why I dropped out of DeVry. I mean, they were one of the biggest, one of the big computer technical schools in the 1990s. I didn't feel like they were teaching me anything, so I dropped out several months before I could have gotten my degree and had that piece of paper that said, hey, you know something. But now, I was in my early 20s. I knew everything already, right? That's how it works. I was a young man in a big city thinking that I knew everything. So, and you know what? That's the thing, though, is that we sometimes shrink ourselves to match our surroundings. Think about it. All right? Have you ever been put in a position where you know you're right about something, but yet you just tend to just not say anything? Maybe perhaps you know that something's going on that's important, but you tend to let it slide. See, some people only see the streets that you grew up on, but destiny sees the world you were built to shake. And so that's why today we're talking about how you need to move like someone who influences. How your influence can stretch past the skylines of your town, past the borders of your states, and past the limits that you can even think of. Because we put a lot of limits in ourselves. We limit ourselves a lot. I mean, I'm human. I admit myself. I put a lot of limits on myself. I'm too fat to do this. Actually, then truthfully, the one thing I always say is I'm too fat to be on ladders. I'll admit to that. I say that a lot. So I'm trying to lose weight. I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm down to 310 pounds from 500. So that should be pretty decent, right? That's a nice goal. But some of us also say that, you know what? I'm not a certified motivational speaker, so I really shouldn't be talking to people yet. I'm not a certified life coach, so I shouldn't be talking to people yet. I'm not a certified teacher, so I shouldn't be in a classroom teaching people yet. I didn't graduate high school, so I really don't know anything, and I shouldn't have a good job. I didn't go to college, so I can't get an office job. See, a lot of us put our own limits on ourselves by what we think we're limiting ourselves with. When in actuality, inside, we know what we can do. And it's our fear that's putting that limit on us. The fear of what other people are going to say. Thanks, Alice. It's that fear that we try and let take over and put that limit on us. See, what happens is our impact is bigger than our city. I keep saying that. I like these little thing. I got my computer to, I'm going to be honest. The last couple weeks I've been working a lot on different stuff, getting stuff situated. And I actually got my computer to automatically make these pictures. This thing up here on a, over here, this thing. This thing right here. Yeah, that thing. All right. That picture right there, yeah. My computer designed that. Using my little bank of quotes, or not quotes, but my little bank of daily topics that I have set forth for the year that I created back last year before December 31st. And so every day has a set topic. All right, good night, Beth. And it grabs from that topic, and it takes and creates this beautiful image. And it puts my quote up there, and it animates it. And it tells us that, you know what? All the way up over in the top far corner, I can't, yeah, up in the far top corner, day 159. That's today. Today is day 159 of this year. And down in the bottom corner, it shows 205 days left till the end of the year. The other 2 days are my own personal goals of when I want to get certain things done. So that's my own personal reminder that, hey, I need to get my button gear. I've got 570 days left before I want to try and do that, and 936 days before I want to get out of this house and back into the country, living in trees. So I won't be shy in sharing that one. That's my goal. We're talking about a campground, people. Sorry, I get all excited about that. But you know what? If your impact is bigger than your city, trust me, my dream is bigger than that. So you can't let familiar streets convince your purpose is small. Just because you're familiar with your territory, just because you're familiar with certain things going on around you, don't limit yourself to that. You were built for the reach. You were built for more. My favoriteest quote is, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. That is one of my most favoriteest. I say it that way because of the fact that one of my motivational speakers I grew up with, I love, and he always emphasized the ist. The guy is dead now, unfortunately. God rest his soul. But he was a great guy, and he helped me through a lot of challenging times. He doesn't know it, but you know what? He did a phenomenal job with me, in my opinion. But yeah, one of my favoriteest quotes: if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And that means that you have no room to grow. Nobody in there can help influence you to grow. You can't pull information from other people to learn how to get bigger. You see, you were built to grow. Everything around us grows, gets bigger. From the seed that's planted in the ground, look at the little acorn thing. Drops from a tree, a little thing like this that turns into a 100, 150, 200 foot tall tree. It takes 100 years. But it takes time. Heck, even when you're dead, what grows from dead? Mushrooms. Sorry, I hate mushrooms. But you know what? Everything was built to grow. Everything's built to reach. Everything is built for movement of some sorts. And you are no different. Because your impact is bigger than your city. I know, I keep coming back to that, but that's today's topic. See, people need to stop acting like your purpose is trapped within a few blocks. Did you know that actually I'm working on trying to find locations in Chicago and Fort Wayne and Grand Rapids and Indianapolis to host a monthly event where I come there and I try to have an open mic and talk to people about overcoming their challenges, about overcoming their fears, about standing up and becoming something better than what they are. And I'm just looking for event locations for it. I mean, it's a grassroots thing, so I'm trying to do it cheaply. I'm not the richest man in the world. But that's because I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to grow. So yeah, if you got a place somewhere in those 4 cities, or heck, anywhere else for that matter, within like the 5-state area, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, heck, I'll even go to Wisconsin. I hate Wisconsin, but you know what? I'll go there. Heck with it. I'll go. Heck, I'll even go to Iowa or Missouri. Kentucky and Tennessee. Well, anything within like 6-hour drive. You find a place for me, I'll come there. But you know what? You hate them too? Yeah, I hate them too. Oh, man. You know, you got to stop acting like you're trapped. You have a dream that's inside of you that's bigger than you even realize. And you've let it try and burn into little tiny embers because you've let life push you down. You've let life make you push it to the side so you can try and focus on surviving. You weren't built to blend in. You weren't built to just survive. You were built to break out. You were built to step up loudly. Because you know what? Your impact is bigger than your city. It's like, that's today's topic. Imagine that. That's like, just because you grew up here doesn't mean you have to stay here. Did you know that my sister, Alicia knows her, my sister, she grew up in Puerto Rico, moved to Chicago when I was like 11 years old. Up until 11 years old, I did not know I had a sister, let alone 3 sisters. And it wasn't until I was about 20 when I realized I had 4 sisters, and one of them I was raised as my aunt. That's because we grew up in a different time period, and I guess it was like that time period where, my mama had, a child out of wedlock, so therefore we're just going to raise that kid as her sister, and she's your aunt, and we're not going to try and let anybody know about that. Yeah, okay, whatever. Anyway, so my sister, she moved from Puerto Rico to Chicago. All right. Squeezed out 3 amazing kids. All right. My 2 nieces and a nephew I have. All right. They graduate. They all grow up. All right. That woman, her family has taken over the whole country. God bless her. All right. And Alicia, you can tell her I said this too, because I joked about this one to her the other day. She moved to Arkansas. All right. She got married, moved to Arkansas. My one niece moved to the East Coast. My other niece moved to the West Coast. And my nephew moved to Cheesehead Land. So none of them are in Chicago anymore. And me, I moved from Chicago before they all ever even thought about moving out of Chicago. So who's the one that actually decided to leave Chicago first, huh? Yeah, me. I was the trendsetter. I was. Ha! I left Chicago first. Not you guys. Because you know what? My impact is bigger than my city. Just because I grew up in Chicago, and I love Chicago. I'm going to be honest. I love Chicago. They got the best food. They got best places to go and hang out. They got some of the best teams to watch. They got some of the best people to hang out with. They got some of the best, coolest places to go and do things with. And they also have some of the best places you can go and get yourself killed in, too. But, we won't talk about that. But you know what? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, Alicia. Yes, so true, so true. But you know what? You got to dream past that map. I didn't want to stay in Chicago my whole life. I wanted something exciting. I wanted my campground. I'll be honest, that's what I wanted. And I got it till the house burnt down. Well, now I'm working on getting it again. And this one's going to be bigger and better than ever before. Not to use a Trump line, but it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the best there ever was. I'm going to dream past that map. I'm going to dream past my limits, and I'm going to claim more. You need to do the same thing. Dream past your limits. Dream past your goals. If your goal doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. Seriously. I'm not joking. I visit Chicago all the time. I was actually just in there Saturday. I did 2 Dunkins on a Saturday, my day off. Yeah, gotta love that, huh? Day off, and I'm working in Chicago on 2 Dunkins. So I actually have to go there probably tomorrow afternoon, or I don't know, tomorrow afternoon maybe. But I know I'll be there on Thursday, unfortunately. I've got 8 McDonald's and 2 other Dunkins to stop at on Thursday. So I'll be doing a Chicago trip Thursday. Yay! All the way from Glen Ellen to Shanahan, Illinois. I'll be doing a little circuit thing, You'll be seeing me on 294. I'll have my wow hat on. Yeah. No. But anyways. See, if your dream doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. So you've got to look past it. You got to look at what's next. You got to look at what's going on for what you can try to do for yourself. Because your impact is bigger than your city. Now, and I'm not saying it just because of the fact that right now I live in a city that's only 5,000 people. Yeah, I'm a big fish in a small pond. I mean, I'm a big fish in a small pond. And when I lived in Chicago, I felt like a very small fish in a big pond. I'll be honest. And that's one reason I wanted to move out to Indiana. One of many reasons. My major reason I wanted to move from Chicago to Indiana was because I wanted my own campground. I wanted my own woods. I wanted my own house in the woods. And I got that. But what happens, though, is a lot of people get stuck in that mindset. They get stuck that, you know what, I don't want to move because I'm comfortable here. I know where everything is. I have family here. I have a job here. My roots are here. And they get scared. And sometimes they get silent. And then they stay small. And you know what? They live small. Always coming up with an excuse not to try something new and exciting. Always finding an excuse to not stretch. They want to start that business, but they're afraid to. What if they try and fail? What if they lose all their money? What if they start the business and somebody says it's a dumb idea? What if somebody else comes with a better idea to run a business and makes more money than them? What if they want to go back to school, but they're too scared? Maybe they're too old to go back to school. Maybe they don't want to go back to school because they're too afraid that they're going to be in school with all the young people. Maybe they're afraid to get their GED. Or maybe they're afraid to buy their first house. Maybe they're afraid to buy their first apartment building. Maybe they're afraid to move from one side of the city to the other side of the city. And unfortunately, a lot of people live their life like that. But you know what? Not you. Because you know what? You're the one. You're the one. You're the one who breaks the pattern. You're the one who refuses to shrink. You're the one that refuses to blend in. You're the one that refuses to let your environment dictate your assignment. Because you've actually taken opportunities and changed them around for yourself. You've stepped up and tried starting that business. You've stepped up and went back to school. You've stepped up and tried moving to a new location. You've stepped up and tried something different. You know, there's a movie I love. The movie's called Excalibur. It's from the 1980s. Hi, honey, what's up?
Chicken butt.
Aren't you supposed to be in bed?
So I went to a store to get some much needed supplies, and then I ended up just doom scrolling on TikTok for an hour, and now I'm finally eating my food, but it's in the microwave so I can eat it.
Oh, do you want the rest of your chicken nuggets?
No.
Okay.
I got them for you.
Oh, well, thank you. So, there's a movie out there, Excalibur. It came out in the 1980s, and it was a really, really good... All right, babe. I love you. Oh, excuse you, piggy. Love you. All right, love you, babes. Have a good night.
Love you.
5:30?
5:30.
All right, I'll be up.
Wow, got that.
Feel free to take them both.
I don't want either one.
Oh.
We need to buy cat litter. That's on my much needed list.
All right, cat litter. Got it. Sorry about that.
You.
Love you too, babe. Anyways, Excalibur. In there, I mean, it's based on King Arthur and Merlin, all that other stuff like that. It's a really good movie for the 1980s. All right. And there's one scene in there where King Arthur is falling in love with Guinevere. All right. And she comes up and makes this thing and gives it to King Arthur. King Arthur. Says, I made this just for you. And Merlin goes, I wouldn't eat that. And he goes, but she made it for me. He's like, yes, you did. He's like, but you're a king now. You can't take risks. That wild, crazy women come up and give you things to taste. What if you eat it and it's filled with poison? What if you eat it and it's filled with love potion? What if you eat it? And he says, and it's totally edible and it feels good. It's like, oh, yeah, true. It's like, no different than walking into a lake and grabbing a sword from a woman in a lake. And I was like, okay. And so you are like that person that somebody hands you a cake. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to eat it? Or are you going to throw it to the side? Never knowing whether it's got opportunities in it or not. And I'd like to believe that you are like I am. I mean, I'm fat. I like my goodies. So I might take a nibble at that piece of cake. I like cake anyway, but probably the death of me. But you know what? You are one of the ones that refuses to shrink, to blend in, to let the environment decide who you're going to be. Because see, your city that you grew up in taught you survival. Your environment you grew up in taught you survival. The challenges that you've lived through have taught you survival. What hasn't killed you, which, a little secret here, just to let you know, if you're hearing my voice, you're not dead. Just letting you know, okay? All right? Just letting you know. Which means that all those bad things, all that yuck that life threw at you, you survived it. You can do it. All that yuck has taught you survival. And that means that your calling, your purpose, your dreams demand expansion. You know, and we can expand more into this in my school community another time. But you know what? Your voice was never meant to echo inside of one neighborhood. Ever notice how when you go to church, all right? I don't know. And I don't mean to try and promote the whole church thing. Some people aren't Christian. Some people are. All right? But when you go to church, sometimes at church you'll have a roaming pastor come there and talk from another church or another congregation, another city, or even another state. Why? Because his story was meant to inspire other people, not just his hometown. Why do people... Excuse me. Why do you think there are so many motivational speakers out there? Eric Thomas, David Power Talk, Les Brown, Inky Thomas. Inky Jones, Marcus Taylor. You know, why do you think there are so many of them out there? Because people want to hear the stories. They want to know how it happens. And you know what? Your story is special to somebody out there. Everybody's life is different. Everybody goes through different challenges. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. Everybody goes through the same challenges, just different ways. See, we all go through grief. We all go through pain. We all go through betrayal. We all go through loss. We all go through all of that. From me losing my mother, watching her be torn apart or sliced apart over 2 years in a hospital, to watching my house burnt down a week before Christmas, to being betrayed by my own wife, who was my best friend, to being betrayed by one of my best friends. We all go through things like that. But we learn how to overcome those. We learn how to withstand those issues. We learn how to own those challenges. And we learn how to win over them. Because see, you were built for reach. You were built for range. You were built for radius. You were built for resonance. You're like a broadcast tower, even though sometimes you like being a porch conversation. And what happens is, you might be a porch conversation in somebody else's world, where they're sitting on a couch talking. Excuse me. Where they might be sitting there talking and thinking, you know what? What would Alicia do in a situation like this? What would Abe do in a situation like this? What would Alice do in a situation? What would Elizabeth do in a situation like this? What would Kiko do in a situation like this? Because see, your impact is global. Even if your beginnings were just local. See, Your city saw you as a kid. Your city saw the broke version of you, the confused version of you, the quiet version of you, the one that would shrink down and hide. The version that was trying to figure it all out. But you know what? Destiny. Your future self looked back and says, no, that's the leader right there. That's the builder. That's the creator. That's the storm walker. See, your city that you grew up in saw your history. But the people around you right now, your family, your friends, your co-workers, your neighborhood, they see your capacity. They see what you've been through, and they see the leadership qualities you have. They see the consistency you have. They see the discipline that you have. They see everything that you lacked when you were growing up. See, what happens is every city has a box that they're trying to put you in. You're from here, so you're always going to stay here. I mean, heck, even now I still deal with that issue. I'm from Chicago. So I'm a Chicagoan. I don't consider myself a Chicagoan. Nor do I consider myself an Oxonian. Because, you know what? Around here they talk, oh, you're from Stark County, you'll never amount to anything. Well, I'm not from Stark County. I'm not from Knox. I'm from Chicago. And technically speaking, I'm really not from Chicago in my opinion. I'm from America. Land of the home, land of the free, land of the brave, land of dreams. And so what happens is the people around you that talk small like that, they say things like, nobody from this area makes it big. Don't dream too loud, you'll make a fool of yourself, is what they say. Don't move too fast, you'll trip and fall. Don't burn the candle at both ends. Sure as hell better than going around half lit. That's how I feel. Seriously. Whenever anybody's ever told me that, you're burning a candle at both ends, my number one response is, better than going around half lit. But see, those people out there that tell you, don't think too big. I don't want to see you get your hopes up. I don't want to see you get... You know what? Somebody actually said that to me the other day. And one of my closest, bestest friends said that to me. You know that? I had literally picked my jaw up off the ground. Because coming from him, it was just like, what? Did you really say that? I mean, I didn't say anything. I just let it go. But I was like, dude, you've known me for 20 years. And you've known that every time I set my mind on something, I get it. Might take me long, but I get it. And true, he wasn't around for me when I had my land, but his brother was. So, you know what? Who cares? The best revenge is tremendous success. Because you know what? I wasn't built for that box. And neither were you. Your movement might start local, but you're supposed to explode globally. See, your city is your launch pad. I'm going to say it in English in case you missed it. Your impact is bigger than your city because your city is your launch pad. Launch pads are small. They're simple. They're quiet. Look at SpaceX. I mean, they try and take this big, huge, honking rocket and they shoot it up to space and they bring it back down. They just they land it. They freaking landed on a boat. They landed on a boat. So yes, your city is your launch pad. And launch pads are where rockets ignite. And where do rockets go, people? They go to the stars. So your ceiling is not, your city is not the ceiling. It's the ignition point. So, here's where I'm going to leave you tonight. Your city gave you your grit. Your city gave you your hunger. Your city gave you fire. They gave you your fight. They gave you your perspective. They gave you your pain. They gave you your pressure. But more importantly, they gave you your purpose. And while the world needs all of that, your city shaped you. And the world needs you. It's waiting for you. Because you have withstood more than people know. You have owned more than people have seen. Now, it's time to win in a way that nobody can ignore. It's time to step up. Step up onto that launch pad and make your loudest roaring launch yet. I believe in you. You need to believe in you. Let's go. Have a great night, everybody, and thank you.